5 key habits for financial success at any age. Now, like and subscribe to my videos if you want to know more about this, but at the end of the day, let's talk about 5 habits to become financially successful. So I ran a 6, 7, 8 figure company. I have a bunch of side hustles. I have real estate. So I have all these things going for me, and I noticed a bunch of habits.
There is so much BS out there when it comes to how to actually be a millionaire. Just think positive, just manifest. You need 17 streams of income. That's how you do it. Just shut the
After talking to a bunch of millionaires and 1 or 2 billionaires, they told me some of the habits that we had in common, and it was pretty interesting. So, the power of financial habits. So, let's start with, hey, habits are one of the best things to indicate if you're gonna be struggling financially or
the habits that are small at the beginning, like grabbing a chocolate bar when you're checking out the grocery line, may be fine at the beginning. But as you go along, you can see that habits are hard to break. There are triggers that we all have that lead us to these habits that are invisible for us to see every single day.
Be financially free. So, why do most Asian Americans have good financial education compared to the other
Asians, right, on average, make more money, in terms of medium, make more money, successful and unsuccessful. And I think when you look at trends that are generally true in the Asian community, not of everyone, but are generally true, usually you have families that are sticking together. You have, people are taught to work hard in school, not get into trouble. I think that translates to why Asians en masse are successful.
ethnicity? Well, at the end of the day, most Asian people thrive for being cheap and learning about education. So with education, you end up learning how much it costs, how to budget, everything like that. Just because it's ingrained in us when we're young, where in other families it is not. I've seen in some of the white families or Caucasian family, whatever you want to call it, that they just, they don't talk about money. Where in an Asian family, talking about money isn't a taboo. We talk about money, we talk how much someone makes, if they're overspending, underspending, or is it a good or bad business based off our, knowledge. And a lot of Asian Americans actually families own businesses. So guess what? You have all this working for them. Now, it doesn't mean that they're gonna be better off, but they have a better standing with the minority mindset. So now, you want to understand the habits that most people have that they're going to be successful. So the 5 habits they have is: 1 habit, they budget and track. Number 2 habit, they saving and investment. Number 3 habit, paying down debt. Number 4 habit is financial literature and planning. And number 5 habits, mindfulness, spending, and avoid lifestyle inflation. Now, let's talk about number 1 habit, budgeting and tracking. Now, the importance about budgeting, I don't tell people you need to budget every penny down, but at the end of the day, you need to look at your book and see if you're going up or down every month off of your income and your spending.
Number one, when you do a budget, it is not a straitjacket. It is you telling you what to do.
That's the easiest way I've seen people do it. And I tell most people, you are fine with your budgeting if every month your savings account and your investment account goes up and you are not going in the negative. Now, if you start going in negative, you need to take a deep dive into budgeting. Now, I recommend using the 50-30-20 rules. And
so pretend that we have a pie right here, and half of this pie, which is the 50%, actually stands for your needs. So again, this is all about budgeting and understanding where your money is going and an ideal personal budget portfolio. So 50% are needs. Let's call this 30% are going to wants, and then 20% is going to savings or paying off debt.
It's up to you how you want to do your 50-30-20 rules or whatever rules you want to do. I don't really care how people do it, but at the end of the day, it's your money, so you need to figure out how you want to budget your money. Now, you have people like Dave Ramsey that has his way with the 7 baby step, and then you have the other people, the money guys, that they have their way to do it. But at the end of the day, you need to highlight how you want to do it. I tell you to use budgeting apps and tools to simplify the process, because you can transfer whatever information you have on your banks and it can go automatically to an app, and it tells you where you're spending money in each category, and you can figure out what you can cut down on each category or spend more in the category based off that. So you can streamline this and make it life easier. You don't have to do paper pen, look at everything. You can easily put it on an app, link it up to your bank account, and it can compare and see what you're spending all your money on. And because if you go into most bank accounts, now it tells you what type of goods it is, what type of services. So it's one of those things, budgeting and tracking, that most people I know that's financially successful have a style of budgeting and have the habit of budgeting and tracking. Now, habit number 2 I see a lot of people do, again, is saving and investing. Now, it is very important to save for emergency and investing consistently. Now, the importance of saving emergency funds and having a long-term investment. So, my recommendation is base your risk tolerance in the financial goal. So, if you're not that a big risk taker, you can do 401ks and you should be fine. But at the end of the day, you need to know what your risk tolerance. If you are like a more riskier person, real estate is pretty risky because you have to hope someone pays you. Now, stocks and bonds, it's based off the market, so it is risky and it's not risky. So you have to base off your risk tolerance on what you want to invest in. Now, I recommend for a savings account for emergency month, you have 3 to 6 months, depending on how well your job is secure. Now, if you don't have a very secure job, you need to be around the 6-month mark. Now, and I know a lot of people who does this, that have this habit. They'll have 6 months, and after they use the 6 months, they throw whatever extra money they have into either one or two categories: fun or investing. So with the extra money, they jump up their savings to 6 months, and then they just throw that extra money into investing to steamroll or snowball this investment portfolio just because it helps grow. I like real estate and stocks, so I do both, but not everyone does both. Which one has a better return? Well, it depends on what you do. The stock market has a better return if you look at the growth year over year from real estate. But from real estate, if you do all the work yourself, you will have the biggest return. And the biggest and riskiest one is your own business, where you have plenty of room to grow and for your investment. So you have those 3 categories you can invest in. Business is the most rewarding and you can get the best out of it, but it's the most riskiest. So you have to base off your risk tolerance. Now, number 3 habits I see people have is paying down debt. So the difference I see is people have different methods in this that helps finance their financial well-being. Some people like to do zero in the loan categories, which I understand whenever you're building wealth, that's going to be extremely hard. And I use the method of borrowing money to grow my wealth for the first few houses. And then after that, I shouldn't have to borrow money no more. This is the method I use. I bought 4 houses. I finance all 4 houses, and then I sit on those 4 until I pay them all off. And that's what my risk tolerance has. Yes, I can keep growing my portfolio, but at the end of the day, it just gets riskier and riskier. The more houses you get, and you're relying on more and more people to pay you, because the likelihood of the 1 or 2 people not paying you is pretty high when you have a large amount of rental properties, and then it comes out of your pocket to pay that month. So at the end of the day, it's based off how you want to pay down your debts. So with this paying down debt, it comes with, different impacts. So I got these 4 houses. Now my plan is to pay them all off and be debt free from all my investment and this steamroll. Now that's why I'm in debt. And yes, debt could be used in this way to grow your money faster, because now I have 4 properties that they're paying the mortgage, and I'm just paying extra on the principal to get these houses paid off faster. So it does work with you, but the more debt you have, the riskier it gets. So you have to understand that situation too. So the biggest thing I see people do that stay successful and stay wealthy is they pay down their debt as much as they can. And yes, there's some people that use it for leverage, and there's other people that don't. But I believe, to be honest, being debt free is the easiest way to build wealth, because you're not paying anything anymore. Now, you can get loans on houses and do all this other stuff and grow your wealth. But majority of people that I know that is super wealthy don't have credit card debts, don't have personal debts. They have business loans, but not personal loans. So there is a difference. So you have to understand that majority of wealthy people do not have loan in their names. Now, number 4 is financial literature and planning. So everyone has a different story. Everyone have a different type of planning. And this is why I tell you to talk to a financial planner if you don't know, or educate yourself. So my plan is a little bit different. So guess what? Your plan will be different too. My plan was to buy 4 rental properties and stick on it, see which one I like better, and then keep going on the rental property after I paid them off, and keep investing in the stock market, and then to build this nice strong foundation. Now that was my plan. I was successfully able to do it. Now it's the slow part is paying off all that debt so that it can be cash flowing and be positive and not worry about having a monthly mortgage on those. Now, the other type of planning is how much investment are you going to do every month to invest. So there's different type of plans for everyone. So I recommend putting 20%, 10% every month, or 10 to 20% every month into investments, either stocks, bonds, a business, or a real estate. So you do that every month consistently of your income, and you be financially wealthy in the future. It takes a while to build up, but you have to remember this financial literacy is where you start learning your personal finances. And I encourage everyone to talk to a financial advisor, because you may not know some of the tricks and loopholes. I made a lot of mistakes. And if I talk to a financial advisor first, I might not have lost thousands of dollars. So this is to help you. Now, I still don't use a financial advisor. I use a group of people that's in each industry for support in this aspect. Now, the goal is, once you have a financial literacy and planning, you need to set financial goal and create a long-term goal based off your financial needs and your financial wealth at the time, because it takes a while to build this wealth. Don't be discouraged if it's a 5, 10, 20 years. But the average person I know, about 7 years, they're actually in the millionaire status whenever they plan successfully. So guess what? 7 years you can be a millionaire, or based off your income, you have to figure it out. But the first 100K is the hardest to build up. Once you build that, it kind of skyrockets. Habit 5 is mindful spending and avoid lifestyle inflation. The one thing I see a lot of Asian Americans do is they avoid lifestyle inflations. So minority mindset, they avoid these temptations. They provide, they talk to each other in this group. Now, some people have bad spending habits and other, but at the end of the day, most financial people avoid lifestyle inflation, and they have mindful spending. Now, most of the people I know that are super wealthy, they won't buy a car or anything like that unless they have a passive income to borrow for that loan. Now, that is a plan that some people use, and I agree with it. If you don't have the passive income to pay for some of these goods and things you want to do, I don't recommend doing it. Now, those are the 5 habits that you need to, if you want to be successful or financial literature. So now, the building financial success is a journey, not a destination. You have to understand not everyone is going to have the same type of journey. And it's a great thing for everyone to understand that everyone's going to have a different journey. Everyone starts off differently. But if you die poor, Bill Gates said it's your fault. And I kind of agree with them. Now, because you have to motivate yourself to do these things, take action. And I encourage every single one to take control of your own financial future, because the only person that can stop you is the IRS, the government, and yourself. So, because they will inhibit you, but it doesn't mean to stop. So those are my 5 habits of being for financial success. So like and subscribe to my video.